The Red Sox now have one of the best lineups in baseball.
Perhaps the best.
Perhaps the best. They have a strong bullpen if Daniel Bard continues doing what he's been doing, and Papelbon does not collapse totally. The Red Sox are almost totally knit together and they're ready to go.
I think so too. I mean, if you just look at their outfield, it's so crowded. They've got Carl Crawford, Jacoby Ellsbury, J.D. Drew. They figure to be the starters in left, center, and right, respectively.
And still leaving on the bench, you still have Ellsbury and Mike Cameron left on the bench.
On the bench. I mean, these guys could easily be starters in many other places. I think for the sake of
even on the
team, they should trade one of these guys away just for their own good. Because these two guys, Jacoby Ellsbury, he's speedy. Mike Cameron, he can hit home runs.
I'd say if they can get a deal for Francisco Liriano and make their rotation hard as a rock, trade Jacoby Ellsbury, include him in some kind of a package. They could
include Ryan Kalish as well. A couple of their big prospects. You could really become. I mean, they're already, as it figures right now. A lot of things can happen in the regular season, but I think they are the favorites for the American League this year. And obviously, Adrian Gonzalez, Dustin Pedroia, top first and second baseman. Marco Scudero, he's okay. Kevin Youkilis is very good. Yeah. The only question I really have is in their bullpen and
the catcher spot for sure.
Jared Saltalamacchia.
The question is, can he catch the knuckleball? Because there's Tim Wakefield's still on the team, although he's in the bullpen now. But should Masazaka falter, something along those lines, Wakefield's back in the rotation. They're going to need someone who can catch the knuckleball. Veritek cannot. He's played with this team for his almost like 15 years, and he's never been able to catch the knuckleball. So that's basically Saltalamacchia's role if that comes to that.
But they say that he has a lot of potential. That scouts seem to like his talent, but so far he hasn't really done much in the majors in the couple years. I like their rotation. I like Lester and Buckles at the top. These two young guys are aces. The real question mark lies in Beckett and Lackey. And Daisuke. All these guys are question marks, in my opinion. They're all coming up.
But they all have really great potential.
And they have great potential, and they have track records.
Yeah.
All of these guys haven't had, especially Beckett and Lackey. Two of those guys, their track record suggests that they could easily have a comeback season next year.
If every single one of those guys pitches as they did at least best
they have
year of their career, forget it. It's over.
They're all going to win 20 games. If that, it's over. Unless injuries bug him like they did last year. Papelbon, you look at his season. He had a couple. When you actually look at the statistics, he had about 5 games where he gave up 4 runs or more, and the rest was pretty okay. But I'm not totally confident in Papelbon.
The question really is for Papelbon is, can he come through in the biggest
spots, especially against the New York Yankees? That's been a problem. Yeah. But you know who I do like in their bullpen? Excuse me, Daniel Bard.
Daniel Bard. How could you not like him?
I think he could potentially be the closer for the Red Sox.
I worry about Daniel Bard though, because he's come out into this career throwing 100+ miles per hour, he might burn himself out a little bit.
That has happened before. And they also only have the one lefty, Hideki Okajima. He is good, but and then Bobby Jenks, that's a question mark, but he's got good numbers in his career. Okay, now we're going to move on to the
Los Angeles Angels.
Los Angeles Angels. Fergus, what do you think about this team?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
We're going to have to look them up a little bit.
Okay, well, the thing about the Los Angeles Angels is that you look at Mike Scioscia. Excuse me. His track record as a manager. He's never had 2 straight losing seasons. The last losing season was in 2003, which is kind of interesting because they won the World Series the previous year. But, I mean, look at the team. You got Vernon Wells, You got Torrey Hunter in right. You got someone who really, I guess, rose as a rookie last year, Peter Borjos, who I guess he did pretty well defensively. Eric Iber, Howard Kendrick, Kendry Morales, proven stud at first. Is Churis at third. Joe Mathis at catcher.
One
their
thing
lineup,
says,
I think their lineup is all right.
One thing they always have going for them is speed.
Yeah,
and so they'll always keep you on your feet.
Issue.
Always keep you at the edge of your seat as far as that goes, and that can be, it can be a domino effect per se for things to come offensively.
Right.
If you don't have the strongest
And
bats.
Howard Kendrick does provide, he's sort of the all-around solid, 10 home runs, over 10 steals, 280 batting average. He's a good second baseman. Eric Ibar, we know, provides steals. Peter Borjos, in 51 games, stole 10 bases, which is pretty good. He could be a base-stealing threat. And then the run producer, the only main one you have at the moment is Kendry Morales. But the Angels have always been a very efficient team as well.
Yeah.
And I think that could really help them next year. And I like their rotation.
Bobby Abreu as well in the designated.
And Bobby Abreu, he's a mark of consistency. He seems to always hit 20 home runs and steal 20 bases. He's had a couple 2020 seasons, and Bobby Abreu, I like him as a run producer as well. I like the starting rotation too. Jared Weaver led the AL in strikeouts. Dan Herron, proven ace. Irvin Santana finally had a breakout season. I think he 17-10 with a 3.92 ERA. These are all good. The top three, and then Scott Kazmir is a question mark.
But a one-time ace.
And Joel Pinheiro has had some good seasons as well. He was actually pretty good last year until he got injured. Last year, his stats were 10-7 with a 3.84 ERA.
That's not bad.
It's pretty above average. And then their relief corps, Fernando Rodney, will be leading them as the closer. And Hisanori Takahashi.
And a new Francisco Rodriguez. Scott Downs, one of the best left-handed pitchers and relief pitchers in the game, has quietly had really good seasons over the past couple years. 2.64 ERA last year. Hisanori Takahashi was really valuable for the New York Mets last year. He pitched as a closer, pitched as an eighth-inning man, as a long man. He did it all for the Mets. He started, but his best value comes in the bullpen. Over 5 ERA as a starter, under 3 ERA as a relief pitcher. Total, he won 10 games with a 3.61 ERA last year. They gave him a 2-year deal. He is kind of old, but he's never really had. He's never really dominated people with speed. He's got good instincts. He throws the right pitches at the right time, and he kind of just tricks you. I think that was a good pickup for the Angels.